Okay, a connection is once a connection established, then I have to access the database. I have to access the database. So, what is the query? So, suppose I want to deposit some amount. So that's why that is called as a amount is deposited. So that is the query. So I want to deposit. So after deposit, your amount should be modified. That is called updated. So once updated, then it should be closes. So that means make a connection, access the data, search the data, update the data, and save the data, and delete the data. Delete the connection. These are all the 4 steps in the connection. Okay, JDBC. Right. Okay, let us take. Now, what I'm saying in the activities, this is called as a activities. The first one, connected to database. Connected to database. So if there is no database, suppose let us take, I'm living in the London. I want to transfer the money to your account. Then how can I transfer? So you are simply saying that by net. How? By net. How? Okay. So this is the internal part is the connection. So first I want to create a connection. Connection to what? My bank. So after bank is connected, then I want to open my file. After opening my file, then updated. So searching my file and money is transferred. So that is updation. Once the updation is there, then it is a saving. So once it is saving, your account should be increased or decreased according to your transaction. Once it is over, then the connection should be deleted. If you are not deleted, then I am continuously accessing your amount, continuously accessing your bank account and the bank transactions, and I can perform so many transactions without your permission. Without your permission. So that is called as a connection. So what are the 4 steps are there? So what are the activities are there? First one, connect to database. First to connect to the database. Next one, execute the queries and update the statements to the database. So that means my account is a database. Then you are presently I have the 10,000 rupees. So when you are extracted 5,000 rupees, then that is called as a action. What is action? Withdrawal. Withdraw. How much? 5,000 rupees. So once the 5,000, then my account changes to 5,000 rupees. Then that is the save. Once it is the save, then you can disconnect. So that is called as a JDBC activities. Connect the database, execute the queries, and update the statement to the database. Updation. Okay, retrieve. Query stands for actions, withdrawal, deposit, or accessing something. So retrieve the result. Suppose sometimes you want to read the balance. So we want to find out the balance. So that is one query. Okay, so certain queries is executed only in the data. The data is available in database. So then you should access the database. Okay, and once it is activated, then retrieve the result received from the database. Okay, these are all the activities of the JDBs. Next, how to connect that? Okay, drivers are very important because everything is a software related. So to communicate the 2 devices, or if you want to load any software in your, load the drivers. Okay, all right. So that's why how many drivers are there? There are 4 types of drivers are there. JDBC. Okay. Right. Just a minute now. Okay, right. Okay, right. Okay, right. I'm sharing the screen now. So this is called as a JDBC drivers. So there are four types of drivers are there. The first driver is the JDBC and ODBC driver. ODBC stands for Open Database Connection. JDBC stands for Java Database Connection. Okay. So the first is the JDBC driver is a software component that enables the Java application, because you want to access the application, so which is written in Java. So that's why you want to access the Java application, then you should interact with the database. For this, you should load the drivers. So what are the different types of drivers are available for for connectivity and accessing the data? Okay, right. So first one is the JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Okay, Java database connector, and next one open database connector. Next is the native driver. Next is the network protocol driver. And the next one thin driver. This is the thin driver. So before going to what is the action of the JDBC, so let us take this is called as a JDBC API. So there are so many applications are there. From that application, you can select one application, and you should access from the database. You should load the drivers. From the driver, you should access the database. So this is the path. JDBC API having so many applications are there. Select or choose any one particular application. So this application requires the data, but data is available in the database, that is other device. For that, you should use the JDBC driver to make the connection. Once a connection is established, then the action should be performed according to the API. Okay, so this is the process of the JDBC driver working principle for the creation of the connection. So the first JDBC bridge driver is the JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So actually, ODBC create access a data with the help of the C language, but the JDBC having the application in the Java language. So to make the communication between these two, first Java files or driver should be converted into the ODBC driver. So let us take the first one. This is called as a convert JDBC method calls. Okay, I repeat, you can make the method calls. JDBC method calls can be converted into ODBC method calls. So this is the working diagram. JDBC application, select one of the application. So to select the one of the application, you can use the JDBC driver. This JDBC driver convert the Java methods into C methods. Okay, C language calls. So once the C language calls, ODBC can connect it to the vendor database library. So from this library is connected to database. Okay, so this is the path creation from the JDBC to ODBC. Okay, I repeat, Java application, select one particular application, then this is the client mission. So that is a resource person or a remote person is a client. You should access the client. So client can access. So that's why client can require certain data. So that's why that driver can be loaded by the client. So now it is connected to the ODBC driver. So then the files, that is the method calls, can be exchanged and converted, or they can be interfaced. Then from this, it is accessed from the database. So here main thing is, this is the old model. So that means here I want to load the JDBC drivers, client mission. what are the advantages and the disadvantages. The first one, this is the JDBC user ODBC driver to connect to the ODBC driver convert JDBC method calls into ODBC function calls. Okay, right? Because that is linked with language. Your application is the Java language. So then how to make the connection? That means you should convert the method calls from Java to C language. Okay, so that's why you should use the two drivers, JDBC drivers and ODBC drivers. Okay. Now, so most of the time, at the present time, it is not used. This is the old method. So this is not, so Java 8 and Oracle should not utilize this old method, okay? So now, what are the advantages? Number one, suppose database is come to C language, then if you are using any language, Python, Java or what it may be, it is easily exchange the method call from other language to C languages, other method call to C method calls. So that's why we can connect to any language. So that's why it is easy to use and connected by any database. You can connect to any database. So next disadvantage. So advantage is the JDBC, ODBC. That is the advantage and that is also disadvantages. Okay, that is the advantage and that is the, because it is a conversion takes place. It is easily converted and it is for each and every time we should convert the method call from Java language to C language. Okay, so needs to install at the client machine. So ODBC driver is also loading into the, okay, all right. This is the main disadvantages. ODBC driver needs to install at the client machine. This is the client machine. This is called as a client machine. Okay, so that's why you should, the client should maintain the two drivers. One is the JDBC and also ODBC. Both drivers you should use. Okay, and secondly, you should convert. This is the disadvantage. Advantage is easy connecting. Okay, next. Native API driver. Native API driver. Driver, some part working principle and remaining should follow the same way. Should follow the same way. Instead, the driver should be changed. The driver should be changed. In the JDBC, in the new driver, so this driver can Hello? Okay, so this is the native API driver. Okay, next I want to discuss about, so what is the special advantage? The native driver uses the client-side libraries of the database. The driver converts the JDBC method calls into native calls. So so this can be converted. So whatever it may be the driver uses, then it should, from Java to it should be converted. That is the first step. So in previous you are using the ODBC, then you should convert. But now you are using the native API driver, so it should be converted into native API driver. This is a simple thing. Okay. So next item, performance upgraded than. This it is a better than the, that is native API driver is better than the JDBC ODBC driver. Okay. Next, suppose whatever it may be, whether it is a ODBC or whether it is a native driver, it should be loaded into the client machine. Client, whatever it may be the driver, that should be loaded into the client machine. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second thing is that then Java method calls is converted into the driver calls. It is the one and only important for each and every type of the uh, drivers. Okay, next one. So this is the, this is called as a network protocol driver. This is called as a network protocol driver. Same process. So, but instead of that, we are using the middleware. This is called as the server side. So that means this is the Java application and this is the network protocol. Java method call should be converted into the network protocol driver, and this is the middleware, and it is accessed to the database. It's a simple one. Okay. So let us take the network protocol driver uses middleware that convert the JDBC call directly or indirectly into vendor-specific database. It is fully written in Java. Okay, advantage, no client-side library is required. Okay, because of the application server that can perform many tasks in auditing, loading, balancing, logging, etc. So again, this can driver require the network support. Okay, network support. So in previous, it is not supposed to require the network support, but now it requires the network support. Okay, right. This is the third one. Next one is the thin driver. Okay, no middleware, no JDBC, and this is the directly connected to the database. That's why its length is very thin. So that means it's not a long connection. Only simple connections are there. So that's why this is called as a thin driver. So only you can use Java application API and thin driver and database. So can you check the previous one? So sometimes a middleware is there, sometimes a vendor database library, sometimes the ODBC and vendor database library. So this length is very large. So, but now what happens? This is the, here the length is very slim, just the Java API, thin driver and the database. Okay, because of the size of the length, it is called as a thin driver. Whatever it may be, first you should convert the Java method calls into driver calls. So the thin driver convert JDBC call directly into the vendor specific database protocol. That is why it is known as the thin driver. It is fully written in Java language. Better perform in all the drivers. So at present market, we are using this one. Okay, at client side or server side. So this is the advantages. Okay. Okay. Now, so that is about the drivers. Next, what are the steps for the connectivity? What are the steps for the connectivity? So I can show you if the database changes, suppose sometimes Oracle database, sometimes MySQL database, okay, there are different types of databases are available. Then as the database changes, then how to access the data by making the connection. So whatever it may be the connection, at least it required the 5 steps. First one, register the driver class. Already says that what are the different types of driver classes that's there, JDBC, ODBC combination, and a native bridge driver, and the next one, network driver, and the next one, the thin driver. Whatever it may be, first you should use the driver class. Second thing, create a connection. Second thing is create a connection. Okay. Third one is create a statement. Okay, suppose I want to execute. So next one is the execute and the next one is the close the connection. These 5 steps are important. Use the drivers, create a connection, and the next one, action plan. Next one, execute the queries, and next one, close connection. Okay, so this is for each and every query, the connection, accessing, closing. These are all the important for each and every cycle. So this is the diagram. Register the driver, get connection, create a statement, execute query, and close connection. These are all the 5 steps. Now we want to discuss about how to make a connection and how to access the database for the different databases. Okay, so uh, just I want to stop the share. Yeah, let us take the first step. So now connectivity with Okay. Sorry, disturbance. There is a power fluctuations in the college, so that's why there is some interruption is there. Okay, so this is already discussed. What are the steps are there? Next one is the connect to Oracle database. So what are the steps? Using the drive. Second one, connection. Next one, application and action. So let us take, I want to show you. Yeah. So let us take, these are all the examples. Let us take first one is the register driver class. So we are using the for, this is the method. One method is that this is called as a for name method. This is called as a for name method. Okay. So next time we want to discuss how to how to connect to different database. So this is called as a, let us take, this is called for name Oracle. Let us take create a connection. So that is called get connection. Okay, this is called a get connection. So what is the method? This is the example of the get connection. Device manager get connection. So this is JDBC Oracle. So this is the get connection. Okay, next is so this is a state. So create a state. So now what happened? What is the first thing? The first thing is for name for the drivers. Second one, get connection for the connection. Next one, it is called as a create a statement. So this is the syntax. So this is called the syntax. Okay. And the next one, execute the query. So this is called, you can use set execute query. Okay. So and the next one, this is called as a close. This is called a close. So what are the 5 steps are there? Drivers, loading, second one, connection, creation, third one, statement, create a statement, and the next one, execute the query, and next one, close. These are all the 5 steps are there. So now it is not understanding to you. Then once you are going to a specific database, then you are clearly understanding by observing some examples. So now we are going to discuss about the connect to Oracle database. So let's take what is the driver. This is called the driver class. So yeah. So this is the driver class. What is the Oracle? So Oracle.JDBC.driver Oracle driver. So the next one is the URL, and next one username, and next one password. So see this. By observing this table, you can understand it. So first one, this is the import java.sql because there is. Next one, so the first step is, what is the first step is you can load the driver. So that's why you can use for name. So this is the loading the drivers, class.forname, oracle.jdbc.drive. This is the first step. Second step is you want to connection. So that's why you can use this is called as a con. Driver manager dot get connection. So this is the method. What is the method? Get connection is a making a connection to, this is the one thing. Okay, third one, statement. So here you are using the statement value selected them from. So this is the statement. Next one, close. So this is called close. So if you are creating like that, so actually don't touch more from this topic. We should do more, but at this level, it is not sufficient to go extra. First, they understand what are the basic steps to make the connection. Loading the drivers, making the connection preparing the statement, and next one closing. So these are the, if you are observing these two, then you are clearly observe this pointer. All right. So next one. Suppose in previous it is a Oracle. Now it is a MySQL database. Can you please observe this? You should clearly understand. So in previous, this is the Oracle, but now you are using MySQL. So for name. So for the driver point of view, you can use for name. So this is the for name. So next one, this is the connection. So get connection. Okay, so this is called as a password, and this is called as a username. So it means to make that require the password and also the username. So that's why this is called as a, so is a, so assume that this is the username and this is called as a password. Okay, so this is for the get connection point of view. So get connection can be used for the connection, and for name can be used to load the drivers. And next one, this is called a statement. So con.create a statement. So then select from EMP, employee, while or stuff. This is some related to the creation of the statement. And next one, this is called as a close. This is called as a close. So for statement and updation, and next one, close. We are going to another one. Here. So let us take, this is called as a data source name. So sometimes you are using the source name or the, let us see what happens the first. Actually, this is basic, just to understand, don't. Okay, so let us take, so student MDB. Database exists in the current directory. Okay, and next one, this is for name. Okay, this is, without name. Okay, I connect with DS. So sun.jdbc. Okay, all right. So these are all the some examples for the connection problem. Actually, topic is very large, but for understanding point of view, these steps are sufficient at this point of view. Okay, at this point. Okay, all right. So that's it for today. I think due to the some power fluctuations, the class is not running smoothly. No problem. So we can revision in the next class also. And in the next class, I want to start with the Java beans. Okay. Thank you.